All right, so let me say this. How quickly the mighty fall. The New England Patriots just 4 years ago, 5 years ago, was considered one of the best franchises in the NFL. And over the span of 3 seasons, they have dropped into uncertainty. The fan base is in disarray, and the media is having a feeding frenzy. Bill Belichick was looked at as one of the greatest minds in sports history. It was blasphemous to even question his decision making, because even when he made questionable decisions, they won, it worked out, and everybody would use the age-old phrase, "I will never question Belichick again." Okay? These are the things that happen when you are at the top of the mountain. When you are the king of the hill, these are the things that happen. When your inevitable drop, or when your inevitable fall comes, it is a very steep drop, and it is a very rough landing. And right now, New England is having an incredibly rough landing. They are trying to figure things out. And me being a Patriots fan, listen, I don't like the losing, but I understand the process of a rebuild. I understand it. New England's not playing for a Super Bowl anytime soon. If ever. It might not ever happen again. Look at the Cowboys. I mean, it's been, 95, 94, 95 since the Cowboys won a Super Bowl. And they've been trying to get back there ever since. And it seems like they'll never get back there. And it may happen. Look at this. Well, not the Steelers, but you know what? Yeah, look at the Steelers. All right, they won us. They ruled the 70s. Okay, they ruled the 70s, and then like a 25-year gap between their last Super Bowl and the next one, when Bill Cowher was able to capture one. It happens. You go a long period of time without winning. It happens. The Jets won in 1968. And they've been trying their hardest to get back, and they've never been back to another one. And nobody sees them going back to one anytime soon. So there's a chance New England will never make it back. There's a chance, but let me say this. For people who are my age, for people that was able to witness the 20-year run, that is one of the greatest sports runs that will never be repeated. Okay? It's the greatest ever. And I know some people thinking, what about the Yankees? They won 27 World Series. Listen, it's different when you have no salary cap, you have all the money in the fucking world, and you can pretty much buy your way to titles. It's different. And don't get it fucked up. The Yankees buy their way to titles. It happens. That's what baseball players, look at the Dodgers. They've been pretty much running the MLB for the last 5 or 6 years. They don't win every year, but they've pretty much been the top of the top for the last 5 or 6 years. Why? Because they have the assets to go out there and get the best players out there. It happens. Okay? So baseball is excluded out of this conversation. College football doesn't even count, especially with all the nefarious shit that they do to capture their championships and go on their runs. There's a reason why Alabama and Ohio State and USC and all these other programs are able to rule over college football every single year, where they're the top programs every year. There's a reason. There's a fucking reason. And it's totally illegal against their rules, but Most of them do it. This is why whenever a team gets hit with a death penalty, I'm always like, this is such hypocrisy. Because every team is doing it. Go and look at the movie Blue Chips. I'm telling you, every team is doing this. They're doing it. Nobody says anything about it. But in New England, this is their time to fail. This is their time. It was bound to come. I know people said in their mind, when Brady leaves or retires, I'm pretty sure we're going to go back to sucking again. I'm trying to enjoy this while it lasts. Now that time is here, no one can fucking accept it. No one can accept the position that the team is in, the fan base is in. No one can accept it. And that's just where we are. All right, with all that being said, as you can see, the Chicago Bears completely decimated. And I do say decimated because they this game was not fucking close. New England had a lead for a little bit, but even still, it was just a huge discrepancy in the way the Bears played versus the way the Patriots played. And I even told my mom, there's a huge line right now. There's a huge payday for betting on the Bears. Take the Bears because it could be a toss-up and New England might lose it. I want New England to win. But if she got a chance to cash in, bet on the Bears. And what happened? The fucking Bears won. Even though they were... I think they were the biggest underdog going into the weekend. Or from what the line was saying, they were supposed to be the biggest underdog. And New England had a plus 7.5, which, look, man, anybody in their right mind would tell you that this game was going to be a toss-up, okay? Especially with you starting Mac Jones at the beginning of the game. I said this. Bailey needs to start every single game until he proves he can't play anymore. He can't play anymore. Until he proves that the game is just becoming too fast for him. He's pressing. He's doing too much that's costing him to make too many mistakes. What did they do? They threw Mac Jones out there because they felt they were obligated to do it. No, you're not obligated to do it. I could have told anybody it was a fucking mistake to throw Mac Jones out there. You're telling me a kid who struggled while he played, all right, got hurt, couldn't play, then the backup quarterback gets hurt, then the third string comes in, he has an okay game in relief, but then over the next 2 games, he gets better and better. Why would the starting quarterback... It's a mental game, okay? It's a mental fucking game. Look at Carson Wentz and what happened to him and his play after he got injured not halfway through the season, late in the season. Nick Foles came in. Nick Foles was able to lead that team to the Super Bowl. And what happened? Carson Wentz was never the same because that shit shook him up mentally. It shook him up mentally. These things happen. People act like a player just becomes not as talented. He just wasn't as talented as we thought he was. Mac Jones had a great year last year. A great year for a rookie last year. Okay? I mean, I know they got blown out in the playoff game, but it's a playoff game. And Buffalo was a far better team. Who can't fathom New England getting blown out by a better team? Come on. Even when Brady was here, there were games where they got blown out. It didn't happen very often, but it happens. I mean, Buffalo is just a better team. Got a better quarterback, better weapons, better defense. They were just a better squad. Because New England beat them after New England ran the ball 40 times. Mac Jones threw 3 passes in that game. You think just because we won that game when it was raining, it was windy. It was raining, windy, snowing, some shit. It was some inclement weather that caused Buffalo to really lose traction, so to speak. And they just couldn't get anything going. And New England just got out there, gave the ball to Damian Harris and let Harris go to town. All right? Just because they won that game doesn't mean they're going to beat them in the fucking playoffs. Come on, man. Don't be ridiculous. Don't be ridiculous. All right? Don't be ridiculous. Okay? people are saying that it was a mistake for Bill Belichick to pull Mac Jones. They're making it seem like Mac Jones, after one mistake, they just prematurely just yanked him out of the game instead of letting the kid have the game to get himself together. That's been a problem for Mac all year. That's been a problem for him. The offense looks dead when he's out there. It looks dead when he's out there. And let me say this. Chicago has a great defense. People act like Chicago doesn't have a great defense. Just because their offense is horrible, and I'm going to get to that in a second, just because their offense is horrible does not mean that defense stopped being good because Khalil Mack went to Los Angeles. That doesn't mean that the defense stopped being good. Roquan Smith is one of the top middle linebackers in the league. One of the top linebackers in the league. They have a great young secondary. They have dudes on the defensive line that can get at you. They have talent over there. That's a good defense. So I'm not surprised this happened. When you mix a decent defense like the Bears against a confused offense like New England's, and you have a shitty offense like the Bears against an incredibly inconsistent defense like the Patriots, this is what's going to happen. You're going to have games like this. I'm not saying it's going to happen every time, but you're going to get a result like this. Is the season over for New England? No. New England can come out, win maybe 5 of the next 7 or 8 games. Okay? And they could be 8-6. Yeah, or somewhere around there. 8-6, 8-7. They could be somewhere around there. Okay? 14 games, 3 games left. They win 2 of those games, they're 10-7. They're 10-7. It was 18-6. 8-6. They'll be 10-7 again. Anything can happen, or they could come out and they could lose the next 4 games, end up with a 3-8 record. It can happen. This team, you don't know. You don't know. And what's making things worse is that it's happening at a time where you lose your you lose your offensive coordinator. Okay? There's just so much movement. When you have a young quarterback like Mac Jones, and people are going to jump on that. They're going to jump on anything they can find to use as a reason why the team is losing. So stability is important. Now, am I saying Josh McDaniels is this great offensive coordinator like everybody keep making it seem? No. This dude had Tom Brady. He was an offensive coordinator for the greatest quarterback to ever play. Okay? That doesn't mean that he's great. He's a really good offensive coordinator. That doesn't mean that he's top notch, top of the hill kind of guy. No. Look at what he's doing in Las Vegas. The Raiders suck. And people expected that team to make a push this year after getting Devontae Adams, and you pairing Adams with Renfro and Josh Jacobs and Darren Waller. Oh my God, that offense is going to be ridiculous. That team has sucked. Don't y'all notice a trend? Josh McDaniels makes his name in New England. He goes to a franchise that needs somebody that can move their team into the right direction. They pick Josh McDaniels, and what happened? They're average, if they're lucky enough to be average. So it's not like Josh McDaniels is changing anybody's life. If he was here in New England, it'd be the same shit. He's coaching under one of the greatest coaches of all time. He was coaching one of the greatest quarterback of all time. And now last year he was coaching up one of the best young talents at quarterback in the league, man. I mean, he's been fortunate, bro. That doesn't make him great. It's because they acting like, oh, he doesn't have Josh McDaniels. They brought in Matt Patricia. Oh man, this offense doesn't know what he's doing. I don't know. Bill doesn't know what he's doing. Everything is so confused. No wonder Mac Jones can't play well. So let's move on, okay? No Kendrick Bourne. I'm assuming they're preparing to trade him. I'm assuming they're preparing to move on from Kendrick Bourne. I watched the first half. Once New England went down 26-14 and just couldn't move the ball at all, I was like, you know what, I'm done. I already know where this is going. I'm good. I didn't see Kendrick Bourne out there at all. Devontae Parker made some plays, but they're missing something. And I've said this. Listen, I said this. They need to make a deal for Kareem Hunt. They need to call up Cleveland, say, what do you want? We'll take Kareem Hunt. Bring Kareem Hunt to the team, okay? Do away with Ramondre Stevenson or limit his touches, but have Damian Harris be the goal line and short yardage back, and have Kareem Hunt be your every down back, or the first, second, and third and long back, okay? Have him be your back when it comes to catching the ball out of the backfield. You need playmakers. And I keep saying this. You can get away with not paying players or not going after the better free agents when you have Tom, because he can pretty much make anything, because the system worked for him. His style of play matched the system they were running. So you can pretty much put anybody there, and as long as they make plays, they don't have to be phenomenal. Just as long as they do what they're supposed to do, the offense is going to run like a fucking machine. Okay? First problem is they need to find out who the quarterback is to run the kind of offense that the team needs, that Bill needs. And the only quarterback I've seen so far that is capable of running the offense, even if it is a small sample size, is Billy Zappi. He seems to be the most enthused about being at the quarterback position. Mac doesn't seem very enthused, and I had a theory that the reason why Kendrick Bourne was in the doghouse, and the reason why Max doesn't seem to, he's been struggling, because let me say this. I don't think Mac wants to play this style of football, okay? When you look around the league at a Joe Burrow and Kyler Murray and Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, all these young quarterbacks, they are given the fucking reins. They're allowed to do things. And I think Mac wants the offense opened up. He wants more splash plays. He wants more down the field throws. He wants more of this. He wants more of that. He doesn't want this. I'm starting to believe that's the problem. And because that's the reason. And I'm telling you, this is 100%. I'm sure this is the reason why Kendrick Bourne hasn't been playing as much. Because Kendrick doesn't want to do this. He doesn't want to play this style of football. He doesn't want to run 5-yard outs, 10-yard outs. He doesn't want to run cutbacks. He doesn't want to be a decoy player anymore. He doesn't want to run screens and sweeps and shit. He wants to go downfield. He wants to make big plays in the passing game. I'm pretty sure this is the issue that they're having with the offense. It has nothing to do with Matt Patricia. It has nothing to do with Joe Judge. They've been coaches there before. You've never heard anything. All right? I'm not saying that Matt Patricia should be an offensive coordinator, but he was an offensive lineman's coach. He did coach up an offensive aspect of the game, so it's not like he's a defensive coordinator completely new to this. If anything, you could say that he was completely new to being a defensive coordinator, being an offensive lineman coach, which I thought was weird. How the fuck do you go from coaching offensive line to being the defensive coordinator, which is a weird transition. But this seems more in line with what he knows or what he can teach. Now, am I saying that he's some offensive genius? No. But I think it has more to do with the style of offense, the plays they're running. Everybody knows that the Patriots are dinking and dunking. As much as I hate that term, it's the best way to describe the kind of it's West Coast offense. Most people know about the spread, the having like 3 or 4 wide receivers, out there. But I'm from an era of football in the early 2000s where West Coast offense was still a very popular thing. Okay, some of the greatest offenses were West Coast offenses. Okay, and this is what New England does. They're a West Coast offense. They're a slight variation. They switch it up from time to time, but they're mainly a West Coast offense. They focus on running backs, linebackers, and short yardage. Okay, they're more about play action. That's what they do. They're not splash plays. They're not out there trying to run a bunch of receivers down the fucking field, getting 30, 40, 50-yard gains every other play. That's not what they do. And you need players that's gonna be 100% invested in doing the best they can with that. And so far, I don't think that Kendrick Bourne and Mac Jones have shown I don't know what the fuck that was, have shown that they are 100% committed into being a part of that. As much as I like Kendrick Bourne, as much as I like Mac Jones, you need players that's going to buy in. That's why Bailey Zappi can get out there in the second quarter, cold off the bench, and throw for 2 touchdowns within 3 drives. This is why he can do that, because he's more with it. He's more with it. He's more with the program. Did he look like a rookie? Sure. Sure, he looked like a rookie in the second half. Okay? But that is a good defense out there. And when the offensive line I saw this kid get hit in the fucking chops by Roquan Smith because Cole Strange missed a blocking assignment. And Roquan Smith just pretty much got up in there unblocked. Okay? Bruh, he's doing the best he can. The coaching staff is still trying to figure things out. They want to give Mac a chance, but Mac hasn't been capitalizing off those chances. Okay? And you can't keep allowing your starting quarterback to lose you games. Okay? Do I think Mac Jones lost them this game? It wasn't all his fault. Look at the defense. The defense was horrible, man. The defense was fucking horrible. Jesus Christ. They shut out the best offense in the league a couple weeks ago, the Detroit Lions. They shut them out, right? And then they come out here and they get destroyed by Justin Fields. Even though Fields was doing everything he could to throw the game away, once he calmed the fuck down and saw, all right, I got him, he went absolutely fucking nuts. So, I don't know, man. This was one of those games where this is a rebuild, so you're not overreacting. And it's crazy how the fans are overreacting. It's crazy how the media is overreacting. Everybody's overreacting. But this is what a rebuild is. How do you think those teams feel when they got to watch New England pretty much run the league for 20 years and they're still trying to figure their shit out? Look at the Bills, man. The Bills was trying to figure their shit out while New England was running everything. Now they're at the top of the fucking mountain and New England has to watch them now. And now the Jets are making a push and the Dolphins are making a push. This is no longer the worst division in the NFL anymore. All right, so I don't know, man. This is just the way it is, bruh. I mean, you had 20 years of excellence. At some point, it was going to be over. I'm pretty sure nobody thought that New England was going to run shit in this division for 50 years. This is not college football. This is not how it works. Okay, so yeah, so I'm done, man. I wanted to voice my opinion because I was watching this video, man, and listening to Matt Castle and Michael Holley and Tom Curran run their goddamn mouth like they do every goddamn week. I just had to get some frustration out, man, because I'm a level-headed guy. Okay, I'm level-headed. I understand things, and I before I react to certain things, I always try to keep things in perspective. Okay, like if this was me 20 years ago, I would have been fucking furious. I would have already punched a few holes in my wall. But this is part of a rebuild, man, and it's rough. Rebuilds are rough. This is why, look at Cleveland. Cleveland has been rebuilding for fucking decades. Okay, it's rough. You get laughed at. You get made fun of. It's not fun. I mean, you question whether or not you're really a fan of the team at one point. Like, it happens. These are how rebuilds are, man. And the reason why it feels so shitty now is because the fall is so steep. It's so, because New England was up there. They were up there. They were towering over everybody else. They were up there. And now they've fallen off, and the fall is fucking steep. So now you're going to fall twice as fast, and you're going to hit twice as hard. But maybe with Bailey Zappi, because I'm hoping that they just move forward with the kid. Even if it doesn't work out, bruh. I don't know what Mac Jones' problem is, but you can't sit back and waste the next 2 years trying to figure it out. Either he can lead the team or he can't. There is no in between, bro. Like, either he can do it or he can't do it. And you got to find out if the Zappi kid can do it. This is why I thought Zappi should have started. He should have started. And if he would have started the game off struggling, maybe around halftime, you take him out the game, you let Matt get in there and see what Matt can do. But, I don't know. That's it, man. I'm done.